In this Let's Play series, I only edited out the loading screens, traveling, super long pauses, and moments where I was talking to my chat about stuff that was unrelated to the story. This series focuses on me narrating the quest text, reacting to cutscenes, and showing my gameplay in story dungeons, raids, and duties. Enjoy the video. All are present and accounted for. When you are ready, my friend, pray inform the officer that we wish to proceed into Girabania. Ah, the signs of the 7th dawn. We were told to expect you. Shall I summon someone to escort you to the wall? Yes. Right. Oh. Let's see, where are we going? I'm currently there.
I remember crossing the border, standing in Girabania once more. Me and my fellow scions, the warrior of light among us.
Ooh.
Behind us, Baelsar's wall cutting the land in two. Freedom on one side, tyranny on the other.
That's crazy. We're going straight into Empire territory. No, I haven't caught up on it yet, Baby Small. I still need to.
Tyranny and the promise of a new beginning. But one that could only be bought with flames and blood.
I saw a couple things, like the new melee DPS class and Male Vieira, but I know nothing else, basically. I'm still stuck in the past here on Stormblood. Oh, here's Raban. Greetings, Scion. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, I welcome you to Castrum Oriens. Thank you, General. We were relieved to hear that your forces secured the wall without incident. Have the Imperials made any attempt to retake the Castrum since then? None. Save for a few skirmishes between our scouts and their patrols, we've barely had any contact with them. But we all know it's only a matter of time before things escalate. As if attacking Baelsar's wall weren't enough, Ilberd summoned a primal right on their doorstep, and Garlemald does not like to let such shows of defiance go unanswered. 'Twas a declaration of war, even if it was not Ilberd's to make, and now we are bound by it, for weal or for woe. The Scions stand ready to serve, General. What would you ask of us? As stated in my message, the Alliance will not proceed without the support and cooperation of the Alamegan people. It would have you serve as our emissaries and make contact with the Resistance. Consider it done, General. We won't let you down, I swear. Then I'll leave you to it. Godspeed. Ha! Of all the Castra in the world, you walk into mine. Master Garland, what brings you here? A certain missing Allagan weapon and Draconic Primal. Omega and Shinryu, I think the Shinobi called it. Anyway, we've been studying their trail of destruction, hoping it might lead us somewhere, which it has singularly failed to do. And 'tis like Omega fell to Earth and occupied territory, meaning it may already be in Imperial hands. Uh-oh. Even so, it bears repeating that we engage the stasis systems. Assuming the command was received and executed successfully, the weapon will be of no use to them. Assumingly. We should hurry up and find it regardless. All the more reason to reach out to the Resistance. If we want to press on into Girabania, we will need their blessing. Everyone's counting on us. Let's not waste any more time talking. 14 nod. Oh yeah, there's one for me too. There it is. As you've probably heard, there are plenty of factions in the Resistance, so I'm taking us to see one with the most influence. The headquarters are located in a place called Ralgar's Reach, an old temple to the east of here, across the Velodna River. I learned a route that should allow us to avoid Imperial patrols. Stick with me and we'll be there before you know it. Still with me? Good. From here we'll head northeast towards the river. The water's not too deep, so we won't have to swim. I don't see any soldiers. Good. Let's cross. You're wondering about the tower to the south? Ooh. Yeah, what of this tower? I call it a great big eyesore. Honestly, you can see that rotten banner from absolutely miles away. They never miss a chance to rub our noses in it. Do they? Come on now, we should keep moving. We're here, on the other side of the pass, Rhalgar's Reach. So you say, but all I see are rocks. I presume there is some sort of trick to this? Indeed, a glamour. Good eye, Y'shtola. Her eyes don't work. I take it they have a talented mage in their ranks, or perhaps an artificer trained in the modification of glamour prisms? Something like that. The important thing is that it fools the Garleans. Oh, before we go in, I don't know if Tataru told you, but my friend Nago, the messenger who came to the Rising Stones, is a member of this faction. So they know us and they shouldn't attack us on sight. That said, they can be a bit jumpy, so let me lead the way, and don't go reaching for your weapons or anything. This doesn't sound that promising to me. We'll see, though. And with a sprinkle of demasking dust, all is laid bare. Alright, are we gonna get attacked here?
I remember the old stories. How the Breaker of Worlds came down from on high and cleft the earth with a single blow. Rhalgar's Reach, a holy place, and a fitting home for the resistance, for the brave and the true, the loyal sons and daughters of Alamigo.
I can already feel the quality improvement from Heavensward, and I thought that was already a great game.
Waiting for us there. Men and women whose souls still cried out for what was lost, for what could be ours again.
You'll forgive us our precautions, but we couldn't be sure of who had crossed the barrier. We see you now for who you are, though, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. So we're not getting attacked here on sight. There we go. Now, I know you would not have come all this way unless you had something important to discuss, and I'm eager to hear what it is you have to say. Let's not do this on our doorstep, eh? Come with me. Alright, we're out of the sun now, good.
Allow me to welcome you once more to Rhalgar's Reach, our humble headquarters. My name is Conrad Kemp, and I have the dubious honor of overseeing operations here.
His voice almost cracked there.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Master Kemp. I am Alphino Leveilleur of the Stars of the Seventh Dawn, as are my comrades. Before I speak of our purpose here, pray allow me to thank you for sheltering Ida, forgive me, Lyse, and Papalimo at great risk to yourselves.
I still keep calling her Ida as well.
No, there's no need for that. They risked their necks for us enough times. It was the least we could do.
I wanted to, I mean, about the mask and...
Ah, don't fret over that. You're not the first person to take up arms against the Empire under a false name. We'd do the same if we had any sense. My condolences for your loss, child.
Papalimo laid down his life to save us, to give us a chance to make a better future for ourselves.
It's crazy that Ida just died off screen in between 1.0 and 2.0, huh?
Will never be a better time to drive the Garleans from our lands. But we have to take the lead on this. We can't leave it to fanatics like Ilberd.
More than a few of our people were taken in by his promises. Followed him all the way to the wall. Good men and women who never came back. When Monago told us what had happened, how the bastard had made sacrifices of them for his twisted ritual, by Rhalgar it filled me with an unholy fury. But what's done is done.
Just gotta move forward.
What we can do now is see that it wasn't all in vain.
That is why we are here today, sir, to see that some good comes of this tragedy. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, we do hereby extend a formal offer of military assistance to the Alamigan resistance.
Do you now? Well, go on then. I'm sure there's more to it than that. So that's the way of it, eh? The Alliance, hoping to avoid a direct confrontation with the superior forces of the Empire, wishes to engage them by proxy with our vastly inferior ones.
So I take it they didn't like our offer.
My comrades and I must confer on your proposal. A moment, if you please.
Of course, Master Kemp. Take all the time you require.
So it would seem we find ourselves in a surfeit of free time. Ah, forgive me. You're free to look around Ralgar's Reach. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. It'll give you a better grasp of our current circumstances. Thank you, Master Kemp. I believe we will do just that. Let us make the most of this opportunity and assess the Resistance's capabilities. Free to poke our noses wheresoever we will, eh? I like the sound of that. Well, I already know this place inside and out. I can show you around if you like, Andrew. Show me around, Lyse. Not Ida. Right, let's get started. I'll bet you think the Resistance is mostly made up of Alamegan Highlanders like me, but the truth is that we don't even account for half. I actually assumed that. We've got Hellsguard from all the way over the spine in here, and plenty of Seekers of the Sun like Nago. There's even some Beastmen and, well, Beastwomen, I suppose, like that one over there. She's an Anata. They've been with us a while. Really? They ally themselves with Beast people. That's crazy. Well, one of the smaller factions has. The rest won't have anything to do with us. We're no different from the Garleans to them. They keep to themselves, spending all their time crafting. Ananta make the most amazing jewelry, by the way. They use magics to twist metals and crystals into shapes you wouldn't believe. It's pity people hardly get to see their work, but then again, most people don't know they exist. I didn't even know who they are. That's enough about them anyway. Let's take a closer look at the statue of Ralgar, shall we? Alright, Lyse. Continue the tour. What's this? Pretty awe-inspiring, isn't it? The breaker of worlds, who guided our ancestors to these lands all those centuries ago. Ida used to tell me this story on stormy nights. She wanted me to understand, to remember. At the end of the 5th Astral Era, when the waters rose higher and higher, people all across Eorzea beseeched the heavens for a sign. And lo, a burning star appeared in the eastern sky and led the way to these mountains of Girabanya. Those who were saved by his grace pledged to honor and revere him, to devote themselves to great works without and within. A storm of blood approaches fast. Maybe that's where Stormblood comes from? Hell's open, heavens weep, for no one's soul doth lie beyond the measure of his reach. The last part was inscribed on this stone by a monk of the Fist of Ralgar. Ida explained it to me. A day will come bringing strife and sorrow that none may escape. Waste not these precious hours, but in quiet preparation make strong and the mind and body. I don't know if that storm of blood is finally upon us, but if it is, I have to believe that everything we've been through, everything that has led us to this point, will see us through in the end. Ah, sorry, that was all a bit melodramatic, wasn't it? Let's keep moving, shall we? Off to the infirmary. This is the infirmary, as you can probably tell. Here's where the Resistance healers patch up the wounded and tend to their sick. No matter how carefully we planned our operations, casualties were inevitable. It's a sad thing to think about, but it's also important to remember the cost, as Conrad would say. When you've seen one aetheryte, you've seen them all, right? Not quite. This one's an older design, dating back decades to when the Fist of Ralgar was still here. It may look a little different, but it works just as well as the others. I'll show you where the Sutlers are next, but don't forget to attune to the aetheryte before we go. Yeah, I think I already did that. That was like the first thing I did. It does look a little different. Arms, armor, potions, you name it. These folks have got it. The Resistance would be in a bad way without brave merchants to keep it provisioned. If you're short on anything, or you need something repaired, these are the people to speak to. I'm surprised it didn't say needs be or needs. Oh, Alfino and Lyse are here. Why don't we see how they're getting on? Come to take the measure of our friendly neighborhood merchants? They're a bold lot, that much is plain. If the Imperials found out they were peddling their wares to the Resistance, they would be lucky to escape with their lives. 'Tis a gamble, and I admire their courage, but their motives could hardly be said to be altruistic. Ah, here you are. I've been looking all over for you. Oh, is this the person that showed up in the Rising Stones? We finished discussing your proposal, and we're ready to receive you all back at the tent. I sent someone to fetch you Stola and Kryl, so if you'd like to follow me. Your luck is...
Thank you all
Oh.
for waiting. We have reached a consensus.
Conrad, are you gonna help us? Please?
I, Conrad Kemp,
Ooh.
do hereby accept the Eorzean Alliance's proposal. You must understand, however, that our cooperation comes with certain caveats.
What are the caveats that we have here?
Those caveats being...
I take no joy in this, just so you know. Were it within my power, I'd offer you more assistance.
Oh
The
god.
resistance is far more fragmented than you realize. The men and women in my care belong to but one of many factions. Simply put, I can only speak for the people of Rolga's Reach.
That makes sense. Are we gonna have to unite everybody?
Now, I have every intention of appealing to the others, and I expect many will agree, but it will take time, and I cannot guarantee universal support.
Ah, so we're gonna have to really convince all the factions to join us. Have to work hard for that.
Understood. I shall see that the Alliance is under no misapprehensions as to your position.
Much obliged. But that's not the whole of it. As you can imagine, the loss of those who cast their lot with the Griffin left us short on numbers. Some of our most trusted veterans died at the wall, and we've had to fill their posts with the young and inexperienced. Frankly, everything's in a right bloody mess.
Oh, we'd be more than happy to help you get back on your feet. If we're going to work together, we'll be doing ourselves a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
As
there's
I
no shortage
thought.
of work to be done, that's for sure. We're in dire need of new blood, too.
Ishtola and I could lend a hand in the infirmary. From what I saw, they could do with a few more healers.
There we go.
Very well. I, for my part, shall return to the Rising Stones. I'm certain there are others among the Scions who would welcome the opportunity to fight for Alamegan liberation.
Gonna get some new blood.
Is there anything else we can do to help?
I had something else in mind for you, Lot.
For you lot.
Monargo and Mefrid will tell you more.
What are we going to do?
Understood. We won't let you down.
Right then, Monago and Mefrid are to be our keepers. Knowing not of what they require, one task is as good as the other. Make your choice. Before we begin, I'd like to thank you and the Scions again for patching me up after I bled all over your floor. I owe you my life and I won't forget that. Furthermore, it was rude of me to run off without saying a word. Yeah, I was wondering where she went. It's all well and good me claiming my duties here couldn't wait, but a parting thank you was the very least you deserved. My apologies. Yeah, that was kind of rude, but it's okay. And thank you. Now to my business. Commander Kempson trusted me with a formal reply to be hand-delivered to the Alliance leadership. It covers everything we discussed, as well as detailing the disposition of our forces. What I need is an escort, 1 or 2 men at most, so we can make it to the wall swiftly and without attracting undue attention. Very well, I shall join you in this. General Alden commands the forces at Castrum Oriens. It shall be simple enough to see it into his hands. Great, that's just what I wanted to hear. When you're ready to depart, meet me at the pass leading out of the Reach. 14 nod. At the risk of repeating myself, it's still hard for me to believe that we'd meet again here, of all places. Though I reckon you probably don't remember me after all this time, eh? Well, you see... I don't know you. Who's are you, sir? No, 'twas a lifetime ago, there's no need to apologize, but you know that down in Quarry Mill? We didn't forget about you, nor the lives you saved. As for me, I went to Little Alamigo while Galleon was recovering. Gundobald was my former commander and an old friend. I had a lot on my mind. In the end, I decided to disband our unit. I told the men to live their lives as they saw fit. Some chose to remain in Little Alamigo, while others went to Ul'dah for work. As you can see, I chose to come back to Girabanya to join Conrad and the others. I've kept busy since then, ferrying people and provisions across the border and back. It's not been easy, but it's been fulfilling. Today, however, we'll be heading east into the peaks. Conrad thinks we might have luck finding new recruits in the village of Alagana. Alagana? If you're going there, you're taking me with you. Ah, that's right, you're from Alagana, aren't you, Lyse? By all means, we'd welcome the company. There'll be more to it than just asking around, but we can talk about it on the way. Make your preparations and meet me by the tunnels of the peaks. Nice. Alright, let's start with him. The guy that I still don't remember. This tunnel will take us all the way to the peaks. We're on a mission for Conrad to Alagana. Clear the barricade if you would. Aye, sir. Shouldn't take more than a moment. There are more villages there than out here, but also more Imperials keep a close eye on things. We'll need to tread carefully. Yeah, this desert looks a bit nicer than Thanalan. Definitely tell the graphics are a little bit better.
I remember the peaks of Girabania. Silent watchmen that would stand long after we were gone.
Is this Lyse's voice, I assume?
We came seeking allies to join us in the fight against the Empire. People who had had enough. People who had suffered every possible indignity. Who had been treated like animals, day after day after day.
Oh, you jumped some food in the channel? Hey, thanks, man. I'm looking forward to seeing that. After I'm done with the stream, I'll take a look. We have a glamour in place here too, as you may have noticed. So far as the Imperials are concerned, there is not more than a testament to the savage impulses of a lesser race. Remember though, once we leave these ruins, we'll have no glamours to conceal us. The village is to the east. Keep watch for patrols as we move. You can rest easy. We made it. This is Alagana. It feels strange coming home like this. I always imagined it would be... Oh, sorry. It has nothing to do with why we're here. We need recruits. Aye, we do. But as I said back at the Reach, it's a little more complicated than just asking for volunteers these days. As you know, we're short-handed because many of our people were taken in by the Griffin's promises and went to the wall, never to return. It wasn't just them, though. Folks from all over, including some of my former comrades, answered a call to his call to arms. As for why we came to this particular village, it's rumored that Alagana lost a few youths as well. If there's truth to that, then there could be others sympathetic to the cause. Then again, after the Griffin's betrayal, they may be suspicious of outsiders claiming allegiance to the Resistance, and rightfully so. So with all that in mind, how are we supposed to convince them to join? I mean, I knew it wouldn't be as simple as giving a speech in the village square. Not if you didn't want the place to be burned to the ground, no. You might as well piss in the Viceroy's eyes. Damn, we'll need to be a good deal more circumspect than that. You never know what an Imperial spy is listening. We must speak with the Elder first. I know for a fact he can be trusted. We'll listen to what he has to say and decide what to do after. Sounds like a plan. Let's hope there are still some brave men and women here willing to fight. Ragnfrid, the village elder is over by shore. No time like the present. Let's have a word. Don't you know, traveler? You a merchant? You'll not find much custom here. Greetings and well met, elder. And sincerest apologies that I did not send work ahead of our arrival. Too long have I been away from Alagana, and I would know of your recent troubles. Ah, you are comrades of Mefrid, I see. Speak on, though. I suspect I know your purpose. The Griffin came with many men and left with many more. Such is the rumor. Is it true? He lit a fire in their hearts and then dangled a dream before their tired eyes. And now you come to steal away what few remain? Uh-oh. The Griffin was a traitor and a madman, and we had no part in his schemes. We have made an agreement with the Alliance. This time it will be different. This time, cold comfort to the dead and the ones they left behind. How much more must we give before you've had your fill? But surely you hate the Empire as much as we do. They took our lands, our traditions, even our god, and they demand a fifth of what little we've got left. I hate the bastards with every fiber of my being. But hate's not enough, Mefrid. I can't. We can't keep doing this. I'll not tell anyone you came, but you need to go. Now leave us be and never return. You've got no right to speak to us like that. Whew! Here we go, Lyse. I've got a quarry that was producing barely enough to keep us fed. And that was before half our young men and women went off to die for your bloody cause. So yes, I've got every right to tell you to leave my village. No. You don't, because it's my village too. My home. What in the hells are you on about? Wait. I know those eyes! You're one of Curtis's girls! Oh, sir, you done fucked up, didn't you? Lyse. Lyse Hext. And I'm here. I'm here to take back my homeland. By Ralgar, the last time I saw you, you were... I didn't even know if you were still alive, and I never thought you would come... I almost didn't, and my sister never will. Lots of others won't either, and that's why we've got to carry on the fight. You even sound like him. As you say, I've got no right to tell you to leave. Alagana is as much your home as it is mine. But I say to you again, we can give no more. Yes, I heard you the first time. Let's go. Ooh. Dang. Alright, so that didn't go well, as expected. That could have been handled better, but what's done is done. At least we've been granted permission to stay. I was hoping Ragnford might help us to recruit some of his people. But that clearly isn't going to happen. If we're going to convince any of them to join, we'll first need to regain their trust. It's risky and it's hardly subtle, but I say we approach the villagers directly, see what problems they've got, and if we can do anything to help. Sounds like a typical MMO or just any RPG in general. Makes sense to me. Let's split up and ask around. A new face in Alagana? Huh? What would you ask of me then? A stranger and a generous soul besides? Bollocks. There's none more suspicious than a good Samaritan. On the other hand, if you were an Imperial agent, I expect you'd go about your business with more discretion. Bugger me. You really are here to help, aren't you? Very well. I'll take you up on your offer, stranger. My little brother's working the rocks by Grim and Enid. He's got something for me. Can you go and get it? Fetch quest. Here we go. I played MMOs. Right then. Frightened Coral is the name. Frightened. So his name really is Frightened. Ask him for the leftovers. He ought to understand. You'd best keep your distance if you know what's good for you. Say your piece and move on. Looking for folks down on their luck? Congratulations, you found one. As you can see, my leg ain't what it used to be. Some days I can hardly walk for the pain. Mornings are the worst, especially after cold nights. Hard labors write out too much pain and trouble for others. That's a tea. That's a tea, what helps with it. Though, I need to grind a Chipotle horn and a Hornville Talon for the blend. Yeah? You'll go and get some for me? Just like that? You needn't trouble yourself so... Oh no. This is an MMO. I gotta do the fetch quest. Here for the leftovers, are you? Not like my brother to send someone in his stead, but so be it. It's all in the sack over yonder. They're bleeding heavy, mind, so be careful when you pick them up. Oh, I never meant to... I mean, in times like these, you never think people will actually... This country's hard on people, but it's not just that. The Imperials, they've made it known I'm not to be helped. A dead man's good for one lesson, you know? Whereas a live one... You're with the Resistance, right? I suppose there's no reason not to tell you then. My father, God's rest his soul, was deathly sick at the time, so I'd gone out into the forest, spear in hand, to gather herbs. Then I had the good fortune to run into an Imperial patrol. My weapon marked me as a rebel, or so they said. Not that it'd have been made a difference if I'd fought back. I knew what a lot of them were about the moment the Centurion laid eyes on me. Didn't matter in the end, of course. Some people just like to hurt others, and by the time I limped back to the hut, I was too late for my father. Dang, that sucks. What the heck? This is just like a little quest? That's really sad. Too late for me too, and many others, I imagine. Help them too if you like. They'll be grateful and say thank you. But beyond that, I wouldn't hope for much. That's extremely depressing. What the heck? Ah, the new face. You have my leftovers? Here you go, big guy. Huh. Well, I'll be. You actually went and brought the whole lot. Much obliged, much obliged. It's saltpeter for making fire sand, in case you're curious what it's all for. The rocks by the lakes have got good deposits. Tain't hard for my brother to pass for any other plotting quarrymen. All the while sweeping bits and pieces off to the side to bundle up and sell to the Salters what trade with the Resistance. It's a living, and a way of fighting back, besides. Our way of spitting in the Garlean's eye for putting our father in an Imperial uniform and shipping him off to some faraway province 15 years ago. That sucks! To know if he's dead or alive, even. Though if he were alive, he'd not be long for this world if we were caught fighting for the Resistance. So this is the best we can do. That's the long and the short of it. We do what we can now. We do what we can, though we know it's not enough. I think you'll find that most folks here ain't much different. Everybody's got a reason, but in the end, the result's the same. Suppose I just wanted you to know is all. That we know why you're here, and that even if we can't join you, we wish we could. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out my Twitch streams and my main YouTube channel. Links are all in the description below. See you in the next episode.